talk about Roanoke, the lost colony of Roanoke. Some of you may have some background for the lost colony of Roanoke and may already have formed your own theories about what happened to the lost colony. Um, so we're just going to have a short PowerPoint about this, and you're expected to take notes. You can take notes on what each slide says. You can take notes on what I say. It's up to you how you want to take what you want to take notes on. But they do need to be notes that you can use to study for a test from. So Sir Walter Raleigh, he was a soldier. He was a statesman and an adventurer. He served under Queen Elizabeth I. She gave him permission to start a colony at Roanoke, but he actually had to stay behind. It was financed, paid for by Sir Walter Raleigh, but he actually never got there. Now the expedition, it was by Barlow. They met the natives, they met the Succotans and the Croatans. Barlow went back to England to report about what they had found and where they had settled. Now the natives, we said they had met the Succotans and the Croatans. They were friendly, and then they met the some hostile, and I can't pronounce it, the Aquascojoc. The village of, it says it was sacked, destroyed, and burned over a stolen silver cup. Now, the colonists relied on the Native Americans for food, but when the Native Americans realized that the settlers wanted their land, they cut off the colonists' food supply. Those who survived returned to England in 1586. Now, in 1587, John White, who was actually an artist, convinced Sir Walter Raleigh to try again to establish a Roanoke colony. And there actually was disastrous results. But before we talk about more of those disastrous results, let's talk about when the expeditions, they arrived to replace the dwindling population, including White. So when he went there, before the disastrous results we'll talk about, he actually painted scenes of Native American villages and that type of thing. His daughter, Eleanor, she gave birth to a baby girl while she was there. And they named her Virginia Dare. And she was the first white or European to be born in the colonies. Now, what happened during this time is a lot of their reinforcements went missing, and reinforcements, we're talking about their supplies and food. War with Native Americans ensued, and White decided that he needed to return to England to ask for more help and more manpower. So he left Roanoke along, and he actually left his daughter there and his granddaughter with their family, and he left to go get supplies. Now, John White couldn't return to Roanoke Island for 3 years. It was delayed. He had to stay in England because of England's war with the Spanish. The Spanish Armada, which was a fleet of ships that attempted to invade England in 1588, which was not successful, but that delayed John White, and he didn't return to Roanoke until 1590. So John White, when he got there, he found the settlement missing. Nothing was there. So except for on a tree, Croatoan, or Croatan, however we want to say it, was written on a tree, and then there was something written on a fence post. And actually, instead of the picture here, I think it was CRO was actually found on the tree. Maybe the beginning of Croatan or Croatoan. And the whole word Croatoan was either carved in a doorpost or a fence post. Some people say it was a door, some people say it was a fence. But nonetheless, White never discovered the fate of his family and the other colonists. So why did other people decide to come to colonize in America from Great Britain? That's what we're going to find out. Um, now, there's many theories about what happened to the colony of the lost colony of Roanoke. Some people think the colonists mingled with the neighboring Native Americans. Others believe they moved to the Chesapeake Bay and were killed by Native Americans defending their land. Um, some people even think that the Lumbee tribe, who now lives in North America, are the descendants of the lost colony of Roanoke. So, among the evidence cited is the fact that 41 of the 95 names of the Lumbee were the last names of the colonists. So some Lumbee believe they are descendants of the lost colony because their skin is lighter and they're freckled, and they have, kind of tannish, lightish skin. So they look like they could be a mix of European descent and Native American descent. But some Lumbee people don't believe they're descended from their English ancestors. Um, so that's still a debate. But what do you think? What happened to these people? They just disappeared. Was it a storm, like our last bullet? Due to a storm, John White wasn't able to search? Was it a hurricane type storm that was very disastrous and wiped out the people? Was it the Native Americans that killed them? Or did they go live peacefully with the Native Americans and move to a different area? You decide.